So look here, overview of the design process. Okay, in the overview of the design process, when I look here in the design wheel, so whenever being a design engineers, when the customer comes to you, okay, the first you will take up the requirements from the customer. Clear? So this is called requirements. So from the requirements, what you will do, you will make up the design concept. You will make your design concept ready. So once the design concept is ready, we will analyze that design. Okay, will it work, how it look like, so what are the things, what are the causes, pros, causes, each and everything. We analyze the design. Next we are going for a sizing and trade studies. So you can look here, the requirements. Next you are going for a design concept. Next you are going for a design analysis, sizing and trade studies. So okay, in this design, in requirements, I'll show you the how you are going to take up, and design concept and design analysis, sizing and trade studies. In this sizing and trade studies, what happens, we have a trade studies, we have a range trade studies and endurance trade studies and payload trade studies. So in this range trade studies, already you know that what is the range of an aircraft. Range of an aircraft is nothing but a what, the total distance covered by an aircraft with a one tank of fuel. It is called what, range. So therefore, if you are designing the civil aircraft, so if you are making up the transport aircraft, according to that, what you will do, so we are going for a range studies. So when you go for military based aircraft, you are going for a endurance, means how much time it will be, total time taken by the aircraft to stay in the air, because we are only concentrating on the endurance trade studies. So it depends upon the what type of aircraft you are going to design. According to that, we are going to do the trade-off studies. Clear? So therefore, according to the requirements, from the requirements itself, we'll conclude that, so what type of aircraft I'm going to design. From the design concept, design analysis, sizing and trade studies. If it is not matching up, again we'll come back with the requirements, we'll change it. So you can see there is an iterative process. Again, you can see the sizing and trade studies, the design concept and design analysis with a design concept. Like, clear? So therefore, according to that, it goes. In this, the phases of the aircraft design, again, once again, I'm telling you. So the phases of the aircraft design are, the first, it starts off with the requirements. Next is conceptual. So in the conceptual design, what happens? In the conceptual design, you look here, will it work? What does it look like? You can see here, what does it look like? So you can see, will it work? The concept, whatever the concept it is there, we'll check, will it work? What does it look like? So you will put a picture in the piece of paper and you'll draw it. Okay, fine, my aircraft will look like this. What type of wing should be there, where we are going to fix your wing, where the tail should be fixed, where the landing gear should be fixed. Correct? That is a concept what you are making up. What does it look like? And what requirements drive the design? What trade-off study should be considered? Here itself, you will take up by the conceptual itself, you will tell that, okay, I am going to design for a military based, or it may be the aerobatic based, or it may be the transport based, or it may be the civil based or a transporting. So it depends upon which trade-off studies you are going to be considered, and what should it weigh and cost. Here itself, you will tell that, okay, this much of the total design gross height of the aircraft, and what will be the cost. So weight and cost are directly proportional. If weight you are increasing, the cost also increases in the aeronautics. Clear? So therefore, always we are concerned with the weight of an aircraft. Clear? So next we look here, preliminary design process. Once the concept is ready with you, we are coming with a preliminary design process. In this preliminary design, what happens? You already have a concept is ready. We will freeze that configuration. What is this configuration means? For example, when you look at aircraft, you will tell that, oh, this is a high wing configuration of an wing, the high wing and a conventional tail. We have a tail dragger, or it may be a bogie type of landing gear. We have a nose. Understood? So what type of nose we are using up? We are having a wing tips, winglets. So we are telling completely how the aircraft is configured, what purpose it is configured. If you are doing a trade-off studies, or it may be a what do you call, and what should be the weight of it. So each and everything what will be considered there itself in the conceptual. Once it comes to the preliminary design, what we'll do, we'll freeze that configuration. Okay, my aircraft will look like this. So this is, I am freezing that configuration. Okay, and this is a back, and it's a twin tail or twin engines I'm using up. This type of landing gear, it looks completely okay, fine. My aircraft is looking like this. So that is called freezing the configuration. Next, we are developing a lofting. Here, look here, what is this lofting process? Lofting is nothing but a mathematical modeling. The skin of an aircraft, means outer skin of an aircraft, what it is there, right? That process is called lofting, I will call. That is a mathematical modeling of an aircraft is called as lofting. Okay, develop, test and analytical base. In this, what happens in the develop and test and analytical base? So, and also next is design major items and develop actual cost estimate. And once it is done, we are going for a detailed design. So once this is done in the preliminary process, we are going for actual pieces to be built. Here, what you are going to do it in the detailed design, I'm going to build the actual pieces. Okay, fine. What should be the wing? How? This is the wing. What is the wingspan of it? What is the aspect ratio of it? And it may be a where the quarter chord sweep, where I am giving a sweep, or where is the leading edge, where is the, so these are all things will be done in the actual pieces of the aircraft will be built in detailed design itself, and design of the tooling and fabrication process, test major items, structure, landing gear, finalize the weight and performance estimates. Here I told you already, you came to know that what type of landing gear, what type of wing, what type of tail, how many engines, correct? In the preliminary design itself, you'll configure, we'll freeze that. Once it comes, we are going to, in the industry, what I will do, okay, actual pieces, what should be the aspect ratio, what should be the wingspan, these are all things will be done in the detailed design. So you can see the testing the major items such as structure of an aircraft, the structure of an fuselage, structure of an wing, the structure of an landing gear, correct? These are all things will be into consideration, and the landing gear, and you can finalize the way and performance estimates. So finally, we are waiting up what is the total design gross weight. What is this total design gross weight means? It means that W naught, I will consider W naught, W0. So it is, I can see that in subscript, it will be a 0. That is called, it includes crew weight, passenger, and we have a fuel weight, and we have a empty weight. I will show you in a further, I have that, I can show the what is the equation for the total design gross weight. Once it done, we are going for a fabrication process. So this is first one is what? Requirements, conceptual design. After in the preliminary design, we are freezing the configuration, we are developing the lofting. What is lofting? Lofting is nothing but a what? It is a mathematical modeling of a skin of an aircraft. It is called a lofting here. And detailed design, design the actual pieces to be built, and design the tooling and fabrication process. These are all will be in the detailed design. This is the phases of an aircraft design. Please make the note of it. Requirements, conceptual design, preliminary design, detailed design, and fabrication. Clear? So these are called the phases of an aircraft design. Clear? There are the three phases of an aircraft design, mainly conceptual, preliminary, and detailed. Okay, with the requirements to fabrication it goes. Okay. So next we can, here you will look here in this, in the aircraft conceptual design process, how it goes. In this you see here, first we are taken up a design requirements. So according to that, what we will do, we are taken up a design requirements. See here, this is the design requirements, new concept ideas, technology availability in the market. We are doing a competitive studies by taking up the requirements. What I will do, I will check. So same requirement aircraft already it is performing in the air, in the market already it is existence. I will take up all those aircrafts. I will check the competitive studies. Okay, what should be the weight of an aircraft? What should be the wingspan? How it looks? Each and everything I'm going to do the competitive studies. I'll show you that with one example. At the time you'll understand by taking up an example of anti-submarine warfare. I will discuss in the further. And concept sketch. And this is a first guess sizing. After that, I'm going to do the first guess sizing. Once it's done, we're going for an initial layout, that is maybe aerodynamics, weights, propulsion, and sizing, performance, and optimization. And revised layout, you can see that aerodynamics, weights, propulsion, cost, structures, landing gear, etc. Once it's done, we are making up a refined sizing, performance optimization. After that, we are entering to the preliminary design process. This is called completely, it gives rise to what? Conceptual design process. Once this all things is complete, then only I'm going for a aircraft conceptual design. Understood? This is the, once this process should be completed, then only I can go to the next step, that is called freezing the configuration. It is in the preliminary design process. Okay, this is, these are all things will be included in the conceptual design itself. Clear? So in this we can see that, see here, I told you how that in the concept, what I will do it now, I'm going to take up the aircraft. You can see that this is how the, where the pilot will sit and how the aircraft looks. We'll be putting in a, just we are drawing this rough sketch in the paper. Then I will understand what type of tail should be, where the landing gear should be there, where the CG should be located. These are all the things, calculations will be done itself in a conceptual design itself. In a conceptual design itself, these are all things will be done. How it looks, what should be the wingspan. Once everything is done, then only we are going for a prototype, that is for preliminary sketch. Clear? So what type of technology, what type of power plant it is, so what purpose it is, these are all things in the requirements as well as in the conceptual design process itself we are going to filter. Here we see here on a drafting table, the 3-view layout is done in some convenient scale, such as 1/10, 1/20, 1/40, or 1/100, depending upon the size of the airplane and available paper. So in which type of aircraft it is. It is jumbo jet, or it may be you are going for an Airbus. It depends upon that. According to that, you are going to put up a one sketch. You are, I think you would have done in the CAD, computer aided, in this computer aided, and also you would have done in the what do you call CAD drawings. You would have done in the sheet of paper with a drafter, and you'll be doing it, right? Those things will be done in a conceptual sketch itself. Okay, the drafter will be using it. How the component, front view, rear view, side view, and top view. These are all things we'll be doing with the drafting process, right? With the in the CAD engineering, CAD drawings. So same as it is, we are going to do with the sketches here, with using a drafter. So those things will be with a hand sketch. These are all. Nowadays we are using with the different tools such as CATIA, and we have a Solid Edge, Inventor, whatever the different type of tools what we are using today, we'll be using for these type of sketches. Okay, so you can see the drafting will be done 1/10, 1:20, 1/40, 1/100, according to the total size of an aircraft. And also here, look here in this pic, you can look here. So how the fuselage is looking up, what is the front view of it, what is the wingspan of it, understood? And also we can see here, and what is the landing gear of it, you can see in this picture. These are all are conceptual layouts here. And what type of material, you can see there are composite materials. I'll speak about it in detail. Okay, and for example, control experts will perform a 6-degree of freedom analysis to ensure that designer estimate for the size of an control surfaces adequate for a control under the conditions of the required by design specifications. These all things I will discuss very in detail. They're called a 6-degree of freedom. What is this degree of freedom? Whenever it is the body, it is free to rotate, you know, which all the direction it can free to rotate. Always remember, aircraft have a 6 degrees of freedom. What is the 6 degrees of freedom? 3 rotationary, 3 translational. Pitch up, pitch down, yawing right, yaw left, correct? So we have a understood, and we have pitch up, pitch down, rolling right, roll left. These are all called totally 6 rotational, 3 translational, 3 rotational. There are totally 6 degree of freedom. For aircraft, any aircraft, for a fixed wing aircraft, always how many degrees of freedom? There will be a 6 degrees of freedom. When I'm speaking about a helicopter, there will be a 9 degrees of freedom. Okay, always remember, aircraft has a 6 degree of freedom. What is this degree of freedom? The body which is free to rotate in which all the directions. That is called degree of freedom, I will call. So whenever, I think you would have in engineering mechanics, you will be drawing the degree of the freedom diagrams, will be drawing it, right? So in which all the directions it can freely rotate. That is called degree of freedom, I will call. This is called 6 degree of freedom. Always fixed wing aircraft have a 6 degree of freedom. So in the hovering type of helicopters, mainly they have a 9 degree of freedom. Please remember this. Okay, and so next, when I'm speaking about the sizing and sizing from a conceptual sketch. So once if the conceptual sketch is ready, I'm going to do the sizing from the conceptual sketch. So here's here, for example, if I'm taking for an aircraft, the F-15 fighter, use 44,500 lb. You can see here, this is a F-15 fighter using the 44,500 lb. That is what F-15 weight. It is a total design gross weight of the F-15 aircraft. Okay, it's probably a good number of the start with. So we'll take up an example as F-15 and start understanding about how you are going to do the sizing from a conceptual sketch. There are many levels of design procedure. The simplest level just adopts the past history. For example, if you need to immediate estimation of takeoff weight of an airplane to replace the like Air Force F-15 fighter. So I need to design like F-15 fighter. So I'm taking the first design gross weight of it. What will be the takeoff weight? So I will discuss about it now. Just look here. And we have a takeoff weight build-up method, I will tell. So what is this takeoff weight build-up? You can see here in this you can look here in the takeoff weight build-up. So what happens here? Design takeoff gross weight. Design takeoff gross weight is the total weight of the aircraft as it begins the mission for which it was designed. This is not necessarily the same as the maximum takeoff weight. Many military aircraft can be overloaded beyond the design weight, but it will suffer a reduced maneuverability unless the specifically mentioned takeoff gross weight. Remember here, so here we can weight up, but maneuverability is nothing but flexibility of movement of aircraft. You want to write it, so whatever we spoke about degrees of freedom, it will not be maneuverable. So we want to do the understood rate of turn, radius of turn, instantaneous turn. These are all the performance whatever we discussed in the last class, right? So those things will be affected here. So therefore weight plays a very important role in the design of the aircraft. So therefore design takeoff gross weight is nothing but a what? It is the total weight of an aircraft which is designed to perform that particular mission what we assign to that particular aircraft. So I will tell you what is this exactly, what you are understanding. See here in this equation, you can see in this equation. So this is called equation. You can see here W naught is nothing but a what? Please make the note of it. W naught is nothing but a what? W crew plus W payload plus W fuel plus W empty. It means that crew, the people who are on board, and you can see payload. What is the useful payload we are going to carry in your aircraft? This is called payload. And you can see this is called a fuel weight, which is filled in the tank, fuel tank for the completion of a mission, and empty weight. So therefore, when I look here, their crew and payload will not change because we have to carry the people. We cannot make them to understood. Whenever they are in the on board, we cannot make them to off board. Correct. So therefore, crew weight and payload weight will be constant. See here, crew weight and payload weight will be constant. Only the fuel weight and empty weight will be changing up. So therefore, these are called as a fuel weight estimation as well as empty weight estimation. So therefore, these things will be calculating it. After that, by that we are going to calculate the total design gross weight of an aircraft. So for example, here in this we can see here, the first we are going to learn about what is fuel weight estimation as well as empty weight estimation. Clear? So therefore, in this, when I discuss in the fuel weight estimation and empty weight estimation, see here in the empty weight estimation how it goes. You can see in the graph. I'll show you the graph. You'll understand it how you are going to select the empty weight estimation. So already we told that, I told you that F-15 aircraft, it is having 44,500. Correct? So that is a jet fighter. Correct? You can see that this is a 0.4. You can see 0.4. See empty weight trends according to the WV by W naught. You can see this is WV by W naught. See at this graph you can look WV by W naught. So this is called empty weight estimation. So your empty weight, you have a 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. These are called as empty weight fractions with respect to the total design gross weight with respect to the empty. So WV W naught. So what is the total design gross weight and empty weight? If I divide it, I'm going to get these ratios. Clear? And we have a takeoff gross weight. So what should be the takeoff gross weight? It may be a 100 kg, 100 lbs, 1000 lbs, 10,000 lbs, 1 lakh lbs, or 10 lakh lbs. It depends upon that. So we taken a F-15 jet fighter. It is correct. F-15 is a jet fighter where it is, what is the total design gross weight of that aircraft is 44,500. Correct. So therefore here you can see 10,000. 20, 30, 40. Here around 44,500 will comes near to here. So you can see that it will be oscillates between what? It is 1 lakh, around 10,000 to around 35,000. So this is the design of this is the total design gross weight of this particular jet fighter. And also what should be the empty weight? By this I am going to take around 0.65, or 0.65 will be the empty weight from this graph. So whichever the aircraft it may be, if you are going to design a flying boat, take from this graph. And sail plane powered, so empty weight should be in between of these, whatever the oscillate. These graphs are called, they are called empirical graphs, where you are taken from the repeated experiments. We did it for a different type of aircrafts, and we put a graph. So from this itself, you are going to select that. So for example, if you are going to build your aircraft design is about you are going to build a home built composite. So at that time, empty weight will be around, it is not more than 2000 k. You can see that 2000. Understood? It is the total design grade will be less than that lbs. Correct. So according to that, we are going to select the empty weight fractions. Always it will be taken from this graph. So whenever you are going to design, please keep this graph with you whenever you are going to find the empty weight. This fraction, you can see that WV by W naught will be taken from this graph. Okay, any aircraft it may be, because we are most of the aircraft what we are going to design, it will be lie in this category itself. Correct. Flying boat, jet trainer, jet fighter, jet transport, military cargo bomber, agricultural aircraft, sail plane powered, home built metal wood, sail plane unpowered. So whatever the type of aircraft you are going to design, from this we can take up the WV by W naught with respect to the total design gross weight. Clear? And we can see the sail plane unpowered according to the empty weight fraction versus W naught. And also we can look here, it is called a variable sweep and a fixed sweep. If the wing has a variable sweep, then I can take it as a 1.04. If having a fixed sweep around 25 degree or 25 or 45 degree, it is a fixed sweep. If it is, then I'm going to take up a 1. So KVS, that is called variable sweep. That is constant, we'll call it. It's called a variable sweep constant. It is very important in design process. We will discuss when I'm going to design. Once you understand the concept, when we are going to design a particular aircraft by picking up, then when we can put it, these things can be used at the time. Clear? And we can see here next, it is about fuel fraction estimation. And also before going to that, you can look here, composite home built aircraft are typically fiberglass epoxy construction. So always whenever, because the material which are used to construction of the aircraft, it is called fiber glass epoxy construction rather than advanced composite material. This statistically estimated empty weight fraction is fiber glass epoxy composite home built is approximately 0.85 times. You can see that 0.585 times of the metal home built. So around, we can reduce, we can like whenever you are speaking about the weight of an aircraft, metal will be around most, when you are comparing with the empty weight fraction with a metal with a composite, you can see we can reduce around 85%. You can 15 to 20% of the weight can be reduced. So therefore we are going to use mainly with the composite home builds. Okay, composites are used to reduce the weight, mainly to reduce the aircraft weight, and also the reliable will be there, and also all the whatever the what do you call, the material selection will be good. So by that we can have a reliability will be good, and also whenever you look into the properties of the composites will be, it can be compared with the metal, so weight can be reduced, and also these can be withstand all the force moments and everything. So therefore we are using the composite mainly. The composite home built aircrafts are typically of a, which is that fiber glass epoxy construction. Okay, fiber epoxy construction, you can see 0.99, 1.9, around 0.85 times the metal home built. Okay, so next you can see that fuel fraction estimation. What is this fuel fraction estimation? We've seen that empty weight, that is called WE by W naught, is called as an empty weight fraction. WF by W naught is called as what? You can see WF by W naught is called what? Fuel weight estimation. Only part of the aircraft's fuel supply is available for performing the mission, that is called mission fuel. We'll call it, it's called a mission fuel, means which fuel is used for a performing of the aircraft mission, that is called mission fuel, I will call. Other fuel includes reserve fuel as required for a civil or a military design specification, and also includes a trapped fuel, which is the fuel cannot be pumped out of the tank, that is called trapped fuel. It's called what? Trapped fuel. And the required amount of mission fuel depends upon the mission to be flown, the aerodynamics of the aircraft, and the engine fuel consumption. The aircraft weight during the mission affects the drag, so the fuel used in function of the aircraft weight. Understood? That is called WF by W naught. And also we can see they're called a mission profiles, we will call. Before going to design an aircraft, we are going to draw the mission profiles according to the standard conditions. I'll show you here. So these are called as a mission profiles. You can see this is called a simple cruise, air superiority, low level strike, strategic bombing. They are called as a typical mission profiles for sizing. See here, this you can see here 1 to 2. That is called ground roll, and this is called takeoff. Takeoff, and 3 to 4 it is called cruise, and 4 to 5 it is called, as you can see, the loiter, and 5 to 6 descent, and 7 to 8 is the land. These are called as a each 1 to 2, 2 to 3. These are called as a mission legs, I will call. They are called as a what? Mission legs. You can see here, they are called as a mission legs. They are called as a mission legs. In this we can look here in this the mission profiles. We'll understand the mission profiles. So they are called as a mission legs, we will call. So we have to understand that what they are called as. And so mission segment weight fractions, you can see these are called as a, for a simple cruise mission, their legs could be considered as a warm-up and takeoff in the first, and we have a climb, cruise, loiter, land. This is called a simple mission profile. These are called as a mission legs. These are called as what? Mission leg. As you can see, the mission leg 1 is usually engine, warm-up and takeoff, and first order sizing estimation. The remaining legs are subsequently numbered. You can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accordingly. Clear? And also, and these equations, please make the note of it. These equations are very important, and I'll show you these equations. We have breakaway range equation, so and endurance equation. So here most of the times you are using it. Please make the note of it. We have a range equation. It is called breakaway range equation. Already I told you the weight estimations when I'm doing up. We can see that if I put I is equal to 1, I is equal to 2, I is equal to 3. Correct? So you can see in this weight estimations how I'm going to do it here. W1 by W naught, that is W1, 1 minus 1 is 0. If I take I is equal to 1, that is 1 minus 1 is 0. W1 by W naught, it is of a ground roll. The first mission leg is given by this. After that we are getting a range, a specific fuel consumption, velocity of an aircraft, lift of an aircraft, drag of an aircraft. When I substitute it, I am going to get a what is the weight in the first ground roll, warm up and takeoff. Next, W2 by W1, that is I is equal to 2, that is 2 minus 1 is 1. So W2 by W1 is what? That is called second. second mission. So therefore what happens here, climb we will take, that is called a climb. Takeoff, it is happening at the during the takeoff, what should be the weight? If I substitute the values, I'm going to get a value. So according to that, we are going to find the weight at each mission leg. Clear from this, using this equation. So that is called Brickworth range equations, we'll call it. It's called what? Brickworth range equations. And also you can see endurance equation, so total time of an aircraft. So by this itself, we are going to see here, we can see this is called E is equal to L by D by C, ln of Wi minus 1 by Wi. We can see in the endurance, then which in the mission lag we are going to look into a loiter. So therefore in the mission we can see the 3 to 4, it is 3. We can see, look here, 3 by 2, that is 4, W3 by W2, that is a loiter period. So according to that, I'm going to put an endurance time, how many hours, it may be 3 hours, 20 minutes, or half an hour. However, like I'm going to put a total time of it, what should be the specific fuel consumption, and what should be the L by D. L by D is nothing but a what? It is a lift to drag ratio. Lift to drag ratio. It's also called as a aerodynamic efficiency. We will discuss. Just understand what are the notations, what we are using it. Next, further, we are using the same thing. Okay. Understood. So we can see R is range, C is specific fuel consumption, V is velocity, L by D is lift to drag ratio. Know this terminologies, okay, whatever the things we are using up, and don't be confused with this. R, C, V, L by D. R is range, C is specific fuel consumption, and V is velocity, L by D is, and L by D, it is a lift to drag ratio. Clear? And endurance or a loiter time, we'll call. Loiter or endurance are both the same, don't be confused with that. Okay. And you can see here, and also historical trends. So in this we have to remember, so whenever you are going to design an aircraft, that is called historical mission segment or a weight fractions. So here, for warm up and takeoff, you take directly value as 0.970, and for a climb take as 0.985, for landing 0.995, whenever you are designing conceptually. So because we have to make sure that these values should be met. So when you meet these values, okay, my design is okay, it is optimized design, it's a very good design. So therefore thrust to weight ratio, that's a warm up and takeoff, should be 0.97, climb should be 0.98, and landing should be 0.995. So whenever you are designing, the first you will write warm up and takeoff, that is W1 by W0 should be 0.970, so that should be written. Next, climb W2 by W1 is equal to 0.985. Next, landing, it may be a W7 by W6 by W7, whatever, W7 by W6. So according to that, we have to check, okay, 0.995 during the landing. So these are the things, are a historical mission segment weight fractions we will call. Okay, so please, we have to make the note of it. Okay. And next is specific fuel consumption. What is the specific fuel consumption? Please understand, that is SFC we will call. It is the rate of fuel consumption divided by resulting thrust. For jet engines, specific fuel consumption is usually measured in pounds for a fuel per hour, or pound per hour, the SFC versus Mach number. Okay, that is called specific fuel consumption. Okay, and this you can see specific consumption of a different type of aircrafts. We have a high bypass ratio turbofan. These are all like gas turbine engines. You can see piston prop, that they are like propeller engines, turboprop, and high bypass turbofan, low bypass turbofan. Always remember, these low bypass turbofans will be used for a supersonic aircrafts. For high bypass turbofan will be used for a subsonic aircrafts. Clear? I will speak about what is this bypass, what is this bypass ratio, and why we need to use it, what is the reason beyond it. All things will in the propulsion selection. When we are studying about propulsion, we'll learn in detail about it. And turbojet and ramjet, afterburning, these are all have a specific fuel consumption. You can see that according to that we are going to take. Okay. And we have a and also we can see the propeller efficiency. When I speak about a propeller, we are speaking about a propeller efficiency, that is called eta p is equal to, you can see here, eta p is equal to TV by 550 HP. This is called propeller efficiency. And also C is called W of by time by thrust. So we'll discuss these are all things in detail, just to understand the terminologies at present. And you can see how the looks. This is called wingspan. Remember, this end to this end, this is called total wingspan of an aircraft. This is called surface area. Understood? And also we will tell as a wetted surface area. Here you can see they're called a wetted surface area. It means that what is the area which is exposed to air, that is called wetted surface area. Means the area which is exposed to air is called as a wetted surface area. Okay. So according to that, different type of aircrafts, and L by D is taken as drift to drag ratio or aerodynamic efficiency, I will call it. It's called aerodynamic efficiency. And also we can see takeoff weight, and we can look here. And takeoff weight calculations, how we are going to do the calculations. You can see that W by W naught end. Once you find this value, right? So we are going to substitute this, and we'll discuss about it with an example. You will understand how we are going to take up. Please note these formulas, just understanding the basic, because they're very important. We are using in each and every time when you start your calculations for aircraft design. Clear? And takeoff, we can see here in this takeoff, design objectives, sketch, SWET to the S reference, and engine specific fuel consumption, and also we had WV by W naught equation and iterative for W naught. So these are the process how we are going to do it. You can say design objective, sizing mission, and sketch, and aspect ratio selection based on the sizing. So if aspect ratio, the wingspan, if it is aspect ratio is more, wingspan will be more, and area will be more according to that. Okay, we will discuss about it. This is called the first order design method. I will call. What is this first order design method? It includes design objectives, sketch, sizing mission, SWET to the S reference, engine specific fuel consumption, WV by W naught equation, and WF by W naught. You can see that. So according to that, it goes fuel weight estimation as well as empty weight estimations will be done. And also another one you have to remember, the important one, it is always remember cruise for the jet is loiter for the propeller. You can see here this condition. Here always make the note of it. See here, cruise for the jet. What is cruise? It's a range. Means it is, we are speaking about in what some altitude start to cruise, right? It is a range. That is called cruise for the jet is loiter for the propeller. You look here. So cruise for the jet is loiter for the propeller. Loiter for the jet is cruise for the propeller. So it is vice versa for propeller based as well as with a. And whenever we have to find the cruise speed of an aircraft, we have to take L by D max and we have to multiply by 0.866. I will get a cruise of jet engine. And also for loiter purpose also, just you take L by D max, it is called as a loiter. And also L by D max for propeller, and 0.866 into L by Dx for a propeller based aircraft. Please make a note of it. Cruise for a jet is loiter for the propeller, loiter for the jet is cruise for the propeller. Okay, they are vice versa. Please remember how the jet engines and the propeller based aircrafts are interconnected. Okay, so this should be important, this should be known. Understood. Similarly, the most efficient cruise velocity for a propeller aircraft occurs at the velocity yielding maximum L by D. Where it is loiter occurs, the cruise occurs where the maximum L by D, where the aerodynamic efficiency will be good. There itself it can occur and you can cruise. So therefore it is a propeller aircraft occurs at the velocity yielding maximum. Velocity where you will get, where the best L by D will be there, where the lift will be higher, then only I can get the maximum velocity of an aircraft. So therefore the propeller efficiency will be good. That is only, so therefore cruise we are getting taken up as L by D max. And you can see L by D of 86.66% of L by D. That is velocity yielding. That is for jet aircrafts. Mainly it will be when the jet cruising will get it 0.86 times of a L by D max. There I will get a maximum velocity where jet aircraft can fly. Okay. So we will discuss about it. Just understand. So these are called as a mission profile. So just I will show you. This is called warm up and takeoff, climb, cruise, and this is called a loiter, and this is called a cruise, loiter, land. These are called as a mission legs. Already I discussed. Directly I will come with, this is called anti-submarine warfare. So according to that, what I will do, conceptual sketches we will do, right? So already this is called anti-submarine warfare. Already we have in the market, we have a different type of aircraft which are already performing the same function. So therefore, by looking at aircraft, we have checked it 1, 2, 3, 4. These are conceptual sketches. At the end of the time, the last sketch we taken into consideration. I will discuss about it in detail. Okay, you just know about it. So we will discuss about once again. We will calculate it. So you can see here in this warm up and takeoff, we can see here 0.97. Already I told you historical trends, and W2 by W0 0.985. And also last when you look here, so here last it is for. So when I'm taken for WS by W0, you can see that is called 0.995. So according to that here, W7 by W6 is the last mission segment. So 0.995, and you can see 0.97, 0.985. These are all called as historical values. So directly taking from that by the empirical, whatever we did the previous experiments, from that we are going to taken into consideration. Okay, this much you remember, and we'll discuss in the further whatever things are there. We have to know these things. It's a very fundamental things what we required to being a design and design the aircraft. Clear? If you have any doubts, and let me know. Okay.